When you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. Better see with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch. Even when you feel low, you can still go.
Wrap up. Put the kids to bed, put on your shades, and crack open a cold one during Sports Report After Dark with Seven and Dan the Dick Warner. You can catch After Dark Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/the Sports Report podcast, and again Saturday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. We believe that athletes are people too, and Skip Bayless is one of the lizard people. Don't miss Sports Report After Dark. What's up, everybody? Good evening, and welcome to this week's edition of the Sports Report After Dark. I am your host, Seven. Dan the Dick Warner is waiting backstage and will be joining us momentarily. First, I do want to start by giving a shout-out to our sponsor, Gunslinger Soap. Gunslinger Soap is handmade soaps and beard products made without all the junk to pamper your skin. You can go to their website right now, gunslingersoap.com, and sign up to get 15% off of your first order, and always free shipping over $30. That's gunslingersoap.com. Definitely check it out. Also, a big special thank you to our friends over at West Coast Radio. You can catch the rebroadcast of the Sports Report After Dark Saturday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. You can get that going just by going to westcoastradio.info or by enabling the West Coast Radio skill on your Alexa speaker. Welcome to my co-host, Dan the Dick Warner. And I do want to apologize to you starting off, sir. I am not in uniform tonight. My sunglasses are missing, so I apologize.
Dude, I was gonna say, what was that dude last week talking about? Where he was talking about he's like, I look like a blind guy or whatever. I actually feel blind in these glasses. Like these are actually like sunglasses I should not be wearing inside. And I don't properly light my house at all. Like you can tell, like this is how it looks everywhere. Like
this is how it looks everywhere.
I can't see shit. No. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right, man. It's good to see you. It's
I was about to compliment you on your intro. Like I was like, it started out really smooth, just playing that hip hop music, 3 minutes, and then it just kind of went downhill from there. But it's all right.
It did, and you know what? That's on me. I'm an acceptable podcast host, but I'm a shitty producer sometimes. So that's on me.
Dude, can you imagine when I just start doing it by myself, dude? It's gonna be like fucking like this. Like, this is gonna be over the screen the whole time and shit. Or you can have different stuff on there. Wrong banner.
Wrong banner. And while I'm thinking about it, this is always a good thing to mention. For those of you that are new to the Sports Report After Dark, Dan and I are not very appropriate. This is not the show to watch with the kids. This is the show to kick back after they have gone to bed.
And sometimes I want to kick my stepkids in the head. So that's,
I mean, you know what? You're not a parent if you don't want to kick him in the head every once in a while. I'm just going to say that.
Sometimes.
Right now. You can't be like Casey Anthony and go through with it, but you can look at him and go, if only I could get her number.
How good?
And they have no idea what you're talking about.
What's that? How good of a parent are you? It's like even Casey Anthony knows where her kid's at right now. Oh, good God.
Oh, good Lord. Always has. Anyway, let's go ahead. I'm going to give you this one just because I can. We have some...
That is
the most professional looking intro we have. It's great.
That is far too long, though. I'm 3 seconds maximum. What are we doing? How breaking is this? Does everybody know this?
So it was the National League and American League MVPs for Major League Baseball were announced today. Paul Goldschmidt of the St. Louis Cardinals won National League MVP, while this unknown kid named Aaron Judge won American League MVP.
Should have been a bench player a year and a half ago.
Should have been a bench player a year and a half ago.
From
28 out of 30 first place votes went to Aaron Judge. Goldschmidt saw the announcement while he was sitting at a Blues game tonight. I actually had a friend was there and he posted the video.
That's awesome.
Goldie's sitting at a Blues game and they announced that he is the winner of the National League MVP.
Not only is he the NL MVP, he gets to like literally sit at the Blues game, right? What is this dude's life like for real? Like, what a fucking life to have. Like, he's just sitting in the Blues game. Not only does he win National League MVP of fucking professional baseball, what is his bonus for that?
There's got to be $1 million bonus for that.
I was going to say,
at least
there's got to be some kind of clause. Every time he wins the MVP, it's like a 1.25 million, something like that. Ooh,
I mean,
he just won the lotto, and he gets an MVP. Fantastic.
And Aaron Judge, and honestly, I will say, Judge getting 28 out of the 30 votes for the AL MVP, I knew he was going to win it. I didn't have any question about that, but I thought Shohei would get more than 2 first place votes.
I mean, you just couldn't do it, dude. Like that. I mean, think about all the politics and everything involved in that as well. Like, I thought Aaron Judge was the MVP. I don't think there's any question in my mind that he was, but I can see how, just the politics of it and everything. They're like, dude, he hit 62 in the regular season. Like, he just broke a 60-year-old record. Like, you have to. If they would have even gotten close to giving that to Shohei Ohtani, I'd be fucking outraged. Honestly, and not even as not a homer at all. Fucking outraged.
He had a remarkable season, and this plays right into one of the topics that we are going to talk about tonight. There was a report today that the MLBPA has requested an investigation into communication between the owners of the New York Mets and the New York Yankees after Steve Cohen made comments basically stating, specific amount that he was worth wasn't going to be something that they were, basically was going to be out of their price range.
Right.
And because of those comments, questions of collusion. And also the other part of it was that he said he didn't want to disrespect Steinbrenner by going after Judge. And I think that to me, that's really where the questions come up.
Dude, how much money are we talking about here? Like the Mets have money, dude. The Mets got, Francisco Lindor, his was like 225 million.
They still have a few big signings left, which are expected to put them close to 300 million in payroll. But right now they're sitting at 210 for next year. They'll break 280 at least. I'm saying that. I know there's other reports that are saying that as well. The Mets will break 280. I would not be surprised to see them break 300 after all of the dust settles.
I've seen, I think New York's estimate was like 215 or something like that. So if that shows you anything, that's almost a third higher. And the Dodgers are even higher than that, aren't they? The Dodgers like 330 something, aren't they? Something like that.
I don't think they're quite that high. I think the estimates for the Dodgers are putting them around 300 million. The Dodgers will probably have the top payroll in baseball again next year. We'll say it like that. That's the easy way to classify it. But so let me ask you this. Do you think that in this situation, there really is something where the Mets are not making a move for Aaron Judge because of a respect between Cohen and Steinbrenner? Do you think there's any truth to that?
That would be interesting. I think that they're definitely in like the old white dudes owner club. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like very high ranking members of the old white dude owners club. So like there's probably like unwritten rules and stuff that they have that, are weird. And because they're just a bunch of rich guys playing chess at that point, right? That's basically what's going on. Just a big chess game with all their millions.
Yeah, but it's not this ain't your Harry Potter chess, folks. This is
no.
There's much more at stake than the lives of
hookers.
There's millions of dollars on the line.
Hookers, probably dead children. Maybe one dead child. There is. There's like a suspected homicide. These guys all like Steinbrenner's been through all of it, bro. His dad was a fucking gangster.
From Steinbrenner's side, yeah, I could kind of see that being a possibility. Cohen seems like I don't know. He seems like the type of person that would get offended by Eminem lyrics, but pretends like he's the cool youth pastor. Like that's what he seems. That's what it is. Steve Cohen seems like the cool youth pastor of Major League Baseball owners. Like, is that? Am I close on that? What do you think?
The Jewish camp youth, yes, camp leader, yes,
youth leader. Yeah, I don't know what religion.
Cohen.
I would say
come on.
It's New
Cohen?
York. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Just remember we're
that's okay.
Let's quote Dave Chappelle here.
Okay.
The two words that you can't say and get anywhere: the and Jews.
Jews back to back.
Never seen anybody do very well after those words. Pay attention, Kyrie Irving. And what was great about that Chappelle rant? Let's talk about that for a second. That Chappelle rant on SL. By the way, if you have not seen the opening monologue by Dave Chappelle for Saturday Night Live this last Saturday, go watch it. The entire thing is on YouTube on SNL's YouTube channel. They didn't mess around with it. Part one, no, 15 minutes. Just go watch it. It's worth every second.
It'll be like those like old like Letterman, Bill Hicks shows that were just fucking super good. And I watch like quite often. Like I'll like rotate through like a certain number of them, just like classic ones. Oh my God, dude. Like that one will go down, and that'll be one of the ones that I like go back to and be like, this is fucking dude is such a pro, bro. He's such a fucking pro. It's unbelievable.
35 years in comedy. He's and he even talks about in his set on SNL how he's a Democrat, but like he has a very realistic approach to how he sees things and how he interprets that, and that it comes out in his comedic voice. One of the things that I as a comic, there's a guy that I follow that teaches stand-up comedy. in LA. His name is Greg Pryor. A guy that we're both a fan of. Anthony Jeselnik went through his class. And Greg Dean knows his shit. Like, just plain and simple, when it comes to comedy, Greg Dean knows his shit. Right. And he was talking about the comedic voice. And he said, that what he tries to get his students is like that little voice in the back of your head. When you're going through that's got all those things that pop up and insert into different things. That's your comedic voice. And his job as a teacher is to teach comics to really dig into that and untap it, because that's where the gold is. And so somebody really that is as a comic, he's 100% right. But when you look at Chappelle, it's easy to understand that, yes, some of these things may be a little bit more expanded. Their jokes take things one step further. That's a foundation of comedy. This is, you really get to understand the type of person that Dave Chappelle is. And if you watch his comedy, he doesn't hate trans people.
Seems like the coolest dude ever, basically. Like, and by all accounts is.
That he's that guy in the group that when they start talking, everybody just listens, because they're about to say some of the most either fucked up or profound shit you've ever heard.
Right.
And I have mad respect for people that have that approach. I'm not nearly as quiet of a person as Dave Chappelle is. But the other thing that I thought was funny was he walked out, and the first thing that he mentions is, I don't hate Jewish people. I renounce anti-Semitism. And all of this.
He reads a statement. He reads a statement by himself.
And he goes, and that, Kanye, is how you buy time. And what was great was he could have said, and that, Kyrie, is how you buy time.
Yeah.
Like, just boom, done. And I was like, just killed it. So yes, for sure.
One of the jokes is Kanye got in trouble so bad that Kyrie got in trouble, was one of the jokes. I was like, oh my God. It's true.
He hit it hard, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious. But yeah, seriously, you can go watch that on YouTube. It's great. But back to the collusion thing. Collusion rules and investigations exist because collusion has happened in the past. So let's go ahead and get rid of the veil, because there have been multiple settlements paid out for collusion violations from the MLB to MLB players. Over $300 million in total has been paid out for that over the baseball's existence. The rules that we have now started in the 80s because of some clear collusion that was happening. And I think the last case where something was paid out was 2006, if I remember reading the articles that I was seeing today. So this is something that has happened, and it has happened in recent history. But I don't think that Steve Cohen, in the grand scheme of things, has actually colluded with Steinbrenner. And the reason that I will say that is this. Steve Cohen, we could tell with the moves that he's making, he's trying to get a World Series team, which is what you want any sports team owner to do.
It's the Mets. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're cross town, and it's like, and the Mets have gotten players from the Yankees before. The Mets 100%. Have gotten Yankees players that the Yankees wanted back in free agency. Carlos Beltran, Curtis Granderson.
Like, there's plenty of examples of that happening. So I have to think, based on available information, that Cohen has taken a look at the Judge situation and said, you know what? He's a great player, but there are other needs that we have that outweigh the price tag that a $45 million a year player is going to come with.
Right.
At least that's my opinion.
Didn't Steven Writings from the Yankees just sign with the Mets?
Yeah.
So like they're, that it was I think it was a minor league deal, but still, like, he's a, pretty good prospect or whatever. But yeah, I mean, here's my question to you, Tony. Why are we not allowing this? I'm sorry. I forgot where this wasn't business, and that they can, like, do you think these guys are not audited this closely when they're doing business deals? Are they? Because they're mostly all businessmen, and they don't get monitored that closely doing business deals, do they?
I mean, you would think not.
They definitely, I mean, if they do, they definitely know how to fucking get around it. You know, throw a couple of greenbacks at somebody. It makes them, you know, makes them pretty loyal.
And obviously in any business, there's ethics rules. And I think that the ethics piece is where we get the focal point at. It's just like the gambling rules, you know. Yeah, you might not be throwing games while you're betting on them, but there could be incentive to. And that's where it comes. That's what ethics is about. It could look bad, you know, and because there have been people that have done these things with nefarious intentions, i.e. all of the payouts that have already happened for collusion. But within, I could definitely see there being certain unwritten rules between owners about conduct. Why not?
I mean, no. I'm saying like, I think that they have. So I think that we should probably back off only because it's a game, right? I mean, they're actually like paying people to play a game, and they're playing the game within the other players doing the same thing, right?
Right.
Anyway, I don't know if that made any sense, but yeah,
No,
they're basically like, it's all just a sport, right? I mean, it's a sport at that point, which is probably the same way they approach business. But like I said, they don't get monitored that closely in business. I'm not, you can't have people killed. Here's the rules. Can't have people killed. You can't have people basically in any way physically like roughed up to like get money and you know what I'm saying? Like no gangster shit basically. Like, but be dirty about it. Like be dirty about it. Like if you're better friends with fucking the Yankees owner, then call him and talk to him about some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if he wants to tell you something, then why can't you get that information?
Here's my thing. You know, as I work in sales,
some game of zones,
and there are times where I message one of my coworkers or I message my supervisor, hey, I'm not sure about this. What would you do?
I thought you were going to say message my coworkers, message my supervisor, dick pics. That's what you were going to say. I was going to be like, oh.
No, that's only when I'm trying to get a promotion.
Just dick pics. That's when I'm really, you know, brown nosing. No.
Yeah, that's yeah, and my supervisor is a straight guy, so yeah, I that's why I haven't been promoted, because I only send dick pics for promotion requests, and I'm not.
He just does. He's like the boss from Ted, where he's like, that was pretty ballsy to send me. He's like, you get a raise. He's like, you're really fucked in the head, aren't you,
dude? My boss is legit pretty cool. Like, we'll handle business when we've got to do our sessions, but like, we'll spend time catching up, talking sports, stuff like that. I've had the same boss for 3 years. He's a great guy.
Ted's talking to his boss. He's like, I fucked her with a parsnip and then sold it to a family with small children. he's like, that took balls. He's like, you're promoted. He's like, God damn, he's trying to get fired. He's like, what do you have to say for yourself? He's like, I would talk, but I got a mouthful of your mother's box. Just first things that come out of his mouth. And the dude just promotes him both times. That's probably what it'd be like.
I can see that.
Ballsy.
But no, it's just, I don't think it's a bad thing if there's, you know, because like there's unwritten rules with salespeople. You know, if a customer calls in and asks me for one of my coworkers, like, hey, I've been working with Jim and I need to finalize my policy. I could just say, well, Jim's not here right now, so I'll take care of you. And I mean, what can anybody do about it? In the grand scheme of things, not much. Like if my boss audits the call, he's going to be like, hey, man, you really should have actually checked to see if Jim was there. But I mean, it's a sell.
That's, yeah,
you know,
exactly. And that's some real red tapey shit that you're not going to get, you know, but ultimately, you know, I typically, unless it's a coworker, I don't like it. That is right.
Hey, Jim, this customer's on the line. You busy? Here you go. You know, there's unwritten rules in any industry. And I understand that the unwritten rules as the owner of a baseball team may be different than what I experienced as a sales agent. But in fact, it is. Like, that's just, it is.
Probably much different, yeah.
But at the same time, why wouldn't those guys have unwritten rules? That is a club of few. So few people ever get to have the life experience and the financial prowess to own a professional baseball team. And you are one of 30 owners or owner groups, whatever. And something that one team does can have a huge impact on the other 29 teams, even if it doesn't actually impact them.
Absolutely.
So when you look at, I just, it makes sense that there would be, you know, or like conversations. Hey, what's he really like?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Why is that here? Okay, so my question to you is, what are the actual crimes they're saying are being committed here? What's
basically? I think a lot of it from everything that I've read, my understanding is the issue comes down to Cohn's comments about, you know, because he's with a crosstown team, because he's with the, you know, he was with the Yankees, not being as inclined to make a move out of respect.
Okay. Right.
And
but that's going to happen regardless, though, isn't it?
That's just going to happen sometimes.
I was going to say, that's going to happen regardless.
But like, you really think that if the right opportunity existed, Art Moreno wouldn't grab a hot free agent from the Dodgers?
If the price is right, everybody's taking Aaron Judge. If the price is right.
Exactly. I mean, you can't tell me that if Aaron Judge was like, no, I just want $200 million, but I don't want to play for the Yankees, there wouldn't be a line out the fucking door of 29 other teams.
And then Tony,
everybody would take that deal.
You made a really good point. Cause like if he says $200 million, that's all I want. Then that would be the collusion stuff, right? Because then they have to start talking amongst each other about, like, obviously to him and then amongst each other about what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, to get it done. Correct. They have to. Don't they have owners meetings and shit?
I mean, they do, but I think owners meetings are typically going to be, you know, maybe some light trade talk, but mostly rules and actual league level shit. At least that's my understanding.
And then the actual meeting happens in the cigar room for the next 6 hours, right? That would be collusion, if I'm not mistaken. That's actually what it, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, how awesome would that be? Like, you're basically like playing Game of Thrones with baseball teams. It's fucking sweet. For real, I bet they are. There's a bunch of old dirty bastards.
I would have to say that there's got to be some type of unwritten agreements for different things. But I also truly think that if the price was right and the need was there for Cohen, that the Mets would be making a play for Aaron Judge. But there's so many people that are looking at this Judge situation and they're not realizing how much, because let's say he signs a $350 million deal, just as an example.
Probably pretty close to what it'll be.
Which is probably, I guarantee you 200 million of that is in the next 4 years.
Absolutely. Front loaded like a motherfucker.
Guaranteed.
And
2 to 250 million of that $350 million deal is in the first 5 years of his contract. Guaranteed.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
And that's probably just contract, Tony. That's probably just contract, like let alone incentives. That thing's going to be packed with incentives. There's going to be $100 million of incentives in there. Like
roster bonuses for each year. I mean,
all-star teams.
The money will be stupid. And the reason that teams will do this is because, especially you think of a deal, you think of a player like Judge. Let's say it's an 8-year deal. That's going to put him at 36. How many professional athletes at 36?
Not many.
The number is dwindling. There's some there. So then that's why you have it there, is because there might be use. There's opt-outs and stuff like that. But ultimately at 36, you're starting to hit your shelf life.
Yeah, that's you're in the moonlight of your career at that point.
Right.
Yeah, you're moonlighting, which is, I mean, it's obviously understandable, but that's gotten longer, I guess. And dude, I mean, Tony, you know more about baseball than I do for real. And like, you've seen Aaron Judge, like I watched almost every game this year. That dude is for real, for real. He's not.
Oh, yeah.
I was worried about him for a while because I was like, he fucking strikes out so much. I was like, he's almost 3 outcome like a year and a half ago. And that's what you were talking about as far as like put him on the bench. I always make fun of you for
right.
Like he's like his power was out of control, but like he was not a good contact hitter, dude. He had like 250, struck out fucking 200 plus times in one of those seasons, I think 2018, then next year. Like I was worried about him. And then I just saw his work ethic though, for real, dude. Like this guy, he just like, he's just ice in his veins. Like he's kind of just always, I think he's just going to try and be great for real. Like that's kind of what he.
And I think that the Judge is a perfect person for that. And I say that begrudgingly as a Sox fan, but the truth of the matter is, like, he is a great player, and he has gotten better. He has developed. His eye is better. We've talked about this multiple times. His comfort at the plate and his ability to just chill and wait for the right pitch has all improved from the seasons where Pete Rose was saying, if I struck out that many times, I'd kill myself.
Yeah. If I struck 278 times in a season, I'd fucking shoot myself.
Fucking Pete Rose.
Dude.
So I still love the fact that he's going to place the first legal sports bet in Cincinnati at the Great American Ballpark.
How
on January 1st, 2023. That's
of an asshole is that guy, and how awesome is it? Like, dude, he is such a fucking asshole. It's unbelievable. Like
he is.
It just reminds me of the Team America quote where he's like, there are dicks, there are pussies, and there are assholes. Like Pete Rose is an asshole. He just shits all over everything. Like that is like dicks can fuck pussies, but dicks can also fuck assholes. But it's like assholes just cover everybody in shit.
What's crazy is how is the. I don't think that
movie quote of all time.
The greatest, absolutely.
It's the greatest movie quote of all time.
And that movie does not get the appreciation that it deserves. Like, and I get it's somebody gave Trey Parker and Matt Stone some marionettes, and absolute chaos happened. In a movie with an unrated version scene that shows a marionette taking a dump on another marionette's chest.
Dude, can we pull that? Can we pull it from YouTube? We can't. God damn it!
No, God no. That would be a total violation of terms.
You know what?
But
you know what, Jay?
Absolute brilliance when it comes to that movie, and some of the accuracies that were displayed that we didn't want to accept at the time.
So good.
Good.
I'm gonna read it. It's like a paragraph. It's Gary. I'm not for the movie company. I'm not going to fuck your mouth. But this is Gary. We're dicks. We're reckless, arrogant, stupid dicks. And the Film Actors Guild are pussies. And Kim Jong-il is an asshole. Pussies don't like dicks because pussies get fucked by dicks, but dicks also fuck assholes. Assholes who just want to shit on everything. Pussies may think they can deal with assholes their way, but the only thing that can fuck an asshole is a dick with some balls. The problem with dicks is that sometimes they fuck too much, fuck when it's not appropriate. And it takes a pussy to show them that. But sometimes pussies get so full of shit that they become assholes themselves, because pussies are only 1.5 inches away from assholes. Oh my God. This is the last line is fucking great. I don't know much in this crazy, crazy world, but I do know that if you don't let us fuck this asshole, we're going to have our dicks and our pussies all covered in shit. And fucking Pete Rose is an asshole.
Now suck my cock. Yeah, God, just
Gary, I'm not from the movie company. I'm not going to fuck your mouth.
You do that voice really well, by the way.
Gary's the older guy. The older guy's voice is awesome.
Okay. All right. So before we move on to our next topic, let's go ahead and take a quick breather. We're actually on pace to do this correctly tonight. I don't know what's going on. But so we're going to take a quick break. We will be back in just a couple of minutes here with more on Sports Report
I
After
thought we were
Dark.
supposed to have a guest. Wasn't it the new producer? The new producer / media person?
No,
I know it was a meeting. I know.
Yeah, no.
I'm aware.
Okay. All right, we'll be back with you, everybody.
Even when you feel low, you can still go.
Wrap up your Monday with some laughs. Make sure to join Will, Seven, Dan the Dick Warner, and Josie as they dive into the hottest topics of the week across sports, including baseball, basketball, and the NFL. You can catch the episode live Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, or Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. Don't miss the Sports Report Podcast. Don't miss Fight Night. Every Tuesday night, Will Morgan and Josie Haney break down the hottest topics of the week across combat sports, including UFC, boxing, WWE, AEW, and more. Past episodes are available on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, and each episode will air again Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. Don't miss Fight Night. Tune in or tap out.
Feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never ran, sitting no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never.
All right, welcome back to Sports Report After Dark. Seven and Dan the Dick Warner here as we carry on. Man, I was watching Undisputed this morning. Part of my morning routine most mornings, I've grown to like Skip Bayless. I still think he's one of the lizard people, but I like him.
I respect Skip Bayless for sure.
He's the godfather of that format, really. And
dude's a G in journalism. Like
he is, and he really does know a lot about football and basketball. He's obviously clearly a bit more knowledgeable about football. 3 books about the Cowboys. Spent a lot of time around Jerry Jones. So definitely some knowledge there. But they launched this morning on KD, and I'm not entirely sure I agree with it.
What are you not agreeing with?
Well, they were pretty critical of all because there's been a lot of discussion over the last day or so about a couple of interviews that he did following the blowout loss to the Sacramento Kings. Nets lost by 32 points to the Kings. And as I was seeing him talking about it, I was like, man, that's I can understand why they're feeling that way. But when I look at the actual comments and the way things were printed, I don't know, because let's start with the Bleacher Report interview, and he was talking about his reason for requesting a trade in the offseason hours before his new 4-year contract was set to kick in. And he goes, And they asked him why, and he made the comment. He started talking about like Nash's coaching. Said that he wanted more practices, not just shoot arounds. It's like, hey, I want to work on closeout drills. I want to work on this. I want to work on that. And these things weren't happening. And he was communicating it with the leadership of the team and Coach Nash.
Tony, did you know that the original stories about that were the reverse? So they were all saying at first that Nash was too hard. Like he would like make him run like wind sprints and shit in practice. And then now it like reversed to where KD is saying that like the practices weren't hard enough. They were doing shoot arounds and shit.
Right. And a player like KD goes to, according to KD in this. So we'll preface this with that. According to KD, he's going to leadership and saying, we need to be working on this. We need to be working on this. Rip me apart in film if it gets the guy's attention. Like, what Belichick would do to Brady. Stuff like that.
Right.
And he requested the trade because these things weren't happening. Well, and then not too long into the season, we see Nash get fired. Jacques gets brought on. There's rumors about Ime Udoka getting the head coaching job, but they end up extending and signing an actual contract with Jacques through next season. So he is not just the interim head coach anymore.
What a dumpster fire.
And the comments from KD is that they're doing a lot more. Obviously, it takes time to turn around. So I'm not going to say anything critical of that. Yes, they have a losing record right now, but we're 15 games into the season. Come the fuck on. Like, just like they say on NBA on TNT, Barkley said it multiple times, Shaq said it multiple times. Bad teams don't know that they're bad yet. Good teams don't know that they're good yet. And so for me, like, if my greatest player and one of the greatest players to ever step on the court, because I don't think anybody can dispute that KD is one of the best to ever do it.
He's top 10, I think, on most informed lists.
Yeah. Top 10 for sure. One of the best players on the court right now in basketball in general. One of the best active players.
He's one of the top two greatest scorers of all time. It's him and Michael Jordan.
Yep.
Those are the two greatest scorers of all time.
And when, my player like that comes and says, hey, we need to be working on these things. Personally, I'm going to go, okay, yeah, let's get to work. Why not? Right? And people are being critical about that comment. One of the things that I thought was very telling in this interview was he goes on and they asked about the patience of the patience of getting Ben Simmons back up to speed. Because obviously, averaging 6'6" and 6 right now, not the numbers that they expected when they traded for him.
That's an understatement.
Right. So, it's an understandable question, I think, to be going, where is the line? What, but KD was nothing but positive. He understanding in how he discussed it. It's going to take time. We just got to keep building confidence in it. Some of that has to come from him, which is 100% correct. Ben Simmons has some demons he needs to work on himself, I think is a very true statement. But he spoke on the importance of the confidence around him and them instilling confidence in him and letting him know that they believe in him. And I don't know about you, but now I've seen support in certain areas, like especially guys that are no longer in the league and other people saying, yeah, take care of your mental health, but nothing very direct. KD's comments were actually some of the most supportive comments I've seen for Ben Simmons since everything happened in Philly.
So there's a weird thing going on with Durant where at the beginning of his career as a betting man, which I am, I wouldn't have said that he's a dog, right? I wouldn't have been like, right. Okay, he obviously gets poked fun at for he can't do 185 pounds one time on the bench press. Motherfucker, that dude's arms are 4 feet long. All right. They are literally ridiculous. Like he probably doesn't have. There's not a whole lot of muscle mass there. That's why he can't do that. But KD has dog in him. He absolutely has dog in him.
Absolutely.
And a lot of it. And he's one of those dudes who like literally like once he knew how good he was the whole time, but like once the accolades caught up with like the talent, now he's turned into a kind of completely different person. Cause it's like, I have nothing to prove to you guys. I have nothing to prove to you guys. Cause he doesn't.
He doesn't. And he knows he doesn't. And I think that, you know, one of the other telling pieces in it was as they were going through this interview, they were talking, they got to talking about Kyrie, not just the situation that they're currently dealing with in Brooklyn, but also the not getting vaccinated situation. And he's like, you know, there's people that expect me to go tell him, hey, you need to go do this and to challenge him. That's not his fucking job. That's what you're saying. He's like, that's not his job to do those things. And he's right.
He's that dude's friend, man. Like they're friends. Like they're
friends and coworkers.
Yeah.
He's
good luck. Good luck translating your message that way perfectly. Yeah, no, ain't happening.
Like, you know, you can talk as friends and I'm sure that they did. Like to think that they didn't ever discuss it. Like, really?
Regularly.
You really think that through all of that firestorm, everything that's going on, all the struggles the Nets are having, KD was just like, who? Of course they fucking talked, but he's not going to publicly criticize him for this. Man to man, you just don't do that.
Well, he's not going to no, and like he's not even. I doubt he even criticized him while it was going on. He was probably just like, all right, man, whatever you do, you man. Like, you know, like he was like
I'm sure he asked him where he was getting his stuff from to understand why. But once he explained it, it was just like, all right, do you,
cool.
You know? Yep. But we still have basketball to play. He does. He wants to ball. Kyrie or KD wants to ball. That's all he cares about.
He knows talent wise that he's up there in like the greatest of all time. Like he knows that talent wise he's probably like he showed a couple of like Bo Jackson spike years there with Golden State where that was the best dude on the planet. There was no debating that at that time. Like that was the greatest player on the planet for like 3 years, basically. Like he was like pretty consistent 3 years. And that's from the biggest LeBron James fan, said it every show, of all time. Like I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like that guy was at that time it wasn't LeBron. It was Kevin Durant. Clearly, I don't think there's even so like spike wise, he showed some like top 5 level talent. And I think that he knows that now. And it's just titles for him now. There's nothing else separating. You know what I'm saying? Like
let's say next game, you know, I knock on wood, this doesn't happen, but let's say next game, KD steps out on the court and has a career, and for some reason has a career-ending injury. You know, heaven forbid that happens, but let's just say for argument's sake that happens. He's going into the Hall of Fame as soon as he's eligible.
Yeah, first ballot.
There's no question. You know, there's no debate on whether or not Kyrie or whether or not KD. I keep getting it mixed up. God damn it! Whether or not KD.
It's a lot of K's.
I'm gonna have to go back to calling him Jamie Foxx, and I try to not be too much of a dick about it, but I might have to.
It's like a hauler in West Virginia. A lot of K's.
But
it's like a Jacob DeGrom game. A lot of K's.
A lot of K's.
A lot of K's.
Like Aaron Judge at the plate. A lot of K's.
That's actually John Carl. That's like half our team. Josh Donaldson at the plate. A lot of K's.
A lot of K's.
Joey
Votto at the plate.
Joey Gallo. A lot of
Joey
K's.
Gallo at the plate. A lot of K's.
A lot of K's. John Carlos Stanton. A lot of K's. He should go back to Mike because it's got a K in it. Yep.
But KD is not responsible. KD is not Kyrie's daddy. Don't get me wrong. If they were playing 1-on-1, I'm sure KD would beat Kyrie. Matchup. It would be good to watch. But I think I would take KD in that.
How many of those have gone unseen by the general public? Hundreds, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that I would love to be a fly on the wall for just one of those. Just be like, this is fucking sweet, dude.
I mean, think about
They're
that.
getting pissed at each other and shit. Getting pissed, like knocking the ball.
Right. These guys are clearly friends. Like they know each other. And so I would not be surprised at some point if those two have gotten together multiple times.
I don't know if do you think Kyrie has dog in him? I don't think he does, dude. From what I've seen,
he may have. Here's how I will say this, because I respect Kyrie's ability to play the game. However, I think he had the dog in him at one point, but I think it's gone. And I think that, and I'm going to go back to what I've said on the show previously. I think it's because of what happened in Boston.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Because I still maintain that Boston broke Kyrie Irving.
He just gave up on like the philosophy of him playing basketball. Like he just thought about it and was like, this is fucking stupid. Like
I think that going into Boston, Kyrie had a lot of ambitions. He looked at the entire situation and the game and his ability with rose-colored glasses. And he got slapped in the face with reality of what the game is, his actual talent level, which, don't get me wrong, is amazing. He's an amazingly talented athlete. But
top 75.
He was slapped in the face with reality in Boston, and I think it shook him more than he's willing to admit. And so these other pieces are counter corrections that aren't working.
I'm totally with you on this. It's a great point. I think that shocked him, I think, is the wrong term though. I think it almost like kind of, I don't know, convinced him or just didn't excite him enough. Does that make sense? Like almost the opposite. Like it was just monotonous playing basketball, what I've been doing since I was however old, 11. I don't think that's what he loves to do. I mean, to expect every dude, we talked about this on last night with Stacks. Hey, Wednesday nights, 10-9 Eastern, on the hardwood last night. He just doesn't. Why would you care? Like, we can't expect every NBA player to care, right? It's actually about like what they're doing.
And here, like I said, it was the last week or the week before. Basketball has Kyrie on a pedestal that is not the same level that the pedestal Kyrie has basketball on. And I would go as far as to say that it is hard for me to look at this situation and not wonder if Kyrie has completely taken basketball off of a pedestal in general, and he just sees it as a 9 to 5 now.
Yeah. It's the paycheck to support the lifestyle, which, I mean, I think that we vastly underestimate how much of the league is because I don't even blame them. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm literally saying that I just don't think that they're like, we expect all these guys to just be so committed to winning. Like our city wants a title because we don't play for the team. Right. And they do play for the team. And I just don't think that they care as much as we do because it's their job. And you can't expect all these guys to just be loved. Like their first love's basketball, like just because they were good at it. Like a lot of them just were 7 foot tall and they got, as Stacks called it, fuck you, God. like that was what it was. Like just making me 6'10", and now I got to play basketball. It probably, I mean, that's what Ben Simmons is going through right now for sure. For sure. There's no doubt about it. That's his identity.
It is. And I think you might be right about Ben Simmons too. But like Kyrie, and I'm almost thankful that there is a little bit of a reality coming out of this situation with both with Kyrie and with Ben Simmons, because it's not very often that we come across a situation in professional sports where an athlete that is a top tier athlete doesn't live in the game like we would expect the athlete to do. Like the perception is on greats like Wilt and Jordan and Kareem, and the list goes on and on. But guess what?
He purposely didn't say LeBron right there, guys. He purposely did it. He's very.
I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid.
He was on it.
LeBron loves basketball, but LeBron also has an understanding of the business side of things, and LeBron.
Oh, you're saying like the guys that were totally like immersed in the game side.
Right,
you're right. You're 100% right on
that. Not everybody is going to have the
Wilt
Mamba
wasn't immersed in the games. No.
Well, there's people like that, because Wilt was so great for his time. No, do you know how long it takes to sleep with over 20,000 women over the course of your lifetime?
Do people get
that's a lot of not playing basketball. That's a lot of not playing basketball.
I've had people want to fist fight me for saying that Wilt Chamberlain would come off the bench in the NBA today. He probably wouldn't even be. He honestly would probably be in the D League right now.
I would say bench.
It's not a joke. He's James Wiseman. I think James Wiseman. You take James Wiseman and send him back to 1959 when Wilt started. He's dominating. I'm talking going 50. He might score 100 points in a game.
But the truth of it is, any above average player in today's game, in any sport, going back to the 1950s, is probably going to. Think about this in the 60s. Okay, if Aaron Judge goes back to take at bats against pitchers in the 60s that are throwing 80 to 85,
he's going to 70. He's going to hit 70 home runs.
He's going to hit 70 to 75 home runs
in a season. Okay. I'm not saying he's going to go outrageous and hit 900 home runs or anything. I'm saying one year he'll go nuts.
So I will amend my statement. Not in every sport. I will concede that. Not in every sport, but
kind of
in
the spectrum.
The spectrum's different with each sport, but for the most part, going back, because the game, all of sports has evolved. The scoring has evolved in sports, and the approach is different because there's more technicality to the game now than there used to be.
We also breed athletes now.
Right.
There's literally I started a sports car collection with all the families of the baseball, the Watts and all the dude, there are so many. Mm-hmm. There are so many families.
Absolutely. Because you can, it's evolution. It's evolution in its purest form, because when we look at the instincts of an individual, most of us, on the scientific side, most people are attracted to the person that will, on the biological side, most people are attracted to the person that is going to best further their line in a positive way. That's what and
if you can run from lions,
and so if you can run from lions and you're attracted to somebody that's going to enhance that ability, you may have 3 kids that can run faster from lions. And then those 3 kids pass that on. And so now obviously there are recessive genes that can activate and stuff like that. So it's not always perfect, but you can stack the deck, I guess is what we'll say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Well, yeah. Yeah, you can specify. You can kind of specify key traits, and like you said, the more important thing is that not only are they physically just more naturally to do that, obviously the offspring, but they're teaching them from a young age. That's actually Steph Curry is perfect example of a dude who's not. Dude, Steph Curry is not in any way a world-class athlete. Okay. If you just look at his body style, he's not really, he's like a 6'2" dude. You know what I'm saying? He's obviously athletic because he stays in shape and everything, but naturally not that athletic. A great case of when he was 6, he was shooting a basketball and he was doing it the whole, and his brother plays, Seth obviously plays too. His younger brother. So they were just playing each other. They're not exceptionally good athletes, dude. Del Curry was not an exceptionally good athlete. So and it probably took a step down possibly, like weirdly, you know what I'm saying? Like, because Dell was a fucking good athlete, but the skills obviously are like you could tell just because they were around basketball the whole time too. So like you're getting taught to run from lions, therefore you're better at running from lions, and you're getting taught from a very young age how to be a warrior, or to fast forward a couple thousand years, be an NBA player. For real. Like
right.
Pat Mahomes.
It's and because when you have been in that circle, you have more knowledge than was available to you when you went through it in most cases. And so like when Patrick Mahomes went to his dad, Pat Mahomes, and said, I want to play football, Pat, was able to realize, okay, well, then he's going to need, and for his baseball, he needs private trainers. For his football, he's going to need private trainers that can help him refine these skills so that he can be a good quarterback, or he can be a good whatever, and he knows exactly in an instant what to look for. My son told me he wanted to be a gamer. I know a lot about gaming. I love gaming on both console and PC. So when my son said that he wanted to do that, he wanted to be a streamer, it was okay. You need to work on this. You need to work on this. I want you to learn this. He's going to start helping us with some stuff and making some videos for us so he can get practice on that. I'm preparing him now at 12 to 13 years of age for stuff that the people around me at that age didn't know how to do. And there wasn't really as much of a concept for at that point. So because things have evolved and I know those things, I can prepare him better than I was able to be prepared for that thing. And so he will be able to go farther and be better than I was at that.
Dude, when we were 12, we were like climbing trees and shit because there wasn't an internet. You know what I'm saying? Like we were like
there was, but it wasn't as comprehensive as it is now.
Yeah. It was straight dial up. Like, yeah, you're right. I had dial up probably like 11, 12. So yeah, but still like it was the, can't, you got like 3 kilobytes a second. You could upload one HTML page and it would take like 25 seconds to do. But like you had like links and stuff that you could go to and that would take 25 seconds. But it was the coolest fucking thing ever. I went in my room. That was not probably good, right? I mean, there's like cancer causing. I just slept around a cancer cell, basically. I
mean, what doesn't give us cancer now? So
right. We were talking about, me and Stash were talking about bag phones last night too, like the old bag.
I heard that. Yeah.
Did you ever have a bag phone?
No. My first phone was the OG Nokia 3310.
I didn't have a bag phone, but like my parents did for like emergencies in the car. It was like hey, if you get a car wreck, you can. That was like what it was. That was a cell phone.
My mom. Yeah. I remember my mom having a pager, and I remember when she got her first cell phone, and it was because my mom used to work as a dispatcher for a trucking company.
Right. Well, nobody had pagers here because we're not fancy. Like we're up here in the
I would be surprised if pagers even worked in that area when they were a thing.
They didn't. And that bag phone, $20 an hour.
Yeah.
$20 an hour. I was like, yeah, it's at least.
But I mean, obviously now.
Oh yeah, but she said a minute.
Yeah,
that makes more sense.
There's so many more things now, and information now, and YouTube videos now, and tools that you can just utilize at home to hone some of these different skills. There are smart basketballs that you can buy that are synced to programs that will teach you how to dribble exactly how you're supposed to.
Yep. Like it like tracks your fingers hitting the ball off of it. Like, hey, like make sure that you keep your palm outward.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what?
Hand positioning, dribble patterns, rhythms. I mean, everything.
I don't know if I want to see that about any of my sports games, Tony. Do you want to see any in-depth analysis about your athletic prowess right now?
No.
Right? Exactly. It's scary. We should get one of those balls, Tony, and we should like record our we gotta like learn how to dribble.
There is enough evidence that I do not have the athletic ability to be a basketball player.
Clearly.
We don't
neither do I.
No.
Yeah. No. It's glaring. White in front of you.
right in front of you. We might be able to hold our own in a Y game if nobody else is over 5'10", but
because we're smart.
Because we're smart.
That's to win Y games. You don't have to be athletic, bro. You should be smart. Just play fucking smart as fuck. Just like play like a Braun. Just make every the right move, not the maybe right move. Does that make sense? Because in the Y, who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit, right?
Just dudes, 50-year-old dudes just shooting fucking top of the key jumpers, bro, and banking them with their fucking knee-high socks on. Knee-high socks and like some old Mizuno shorts, like some soccer shorts.
I think it's dumb that players get criticized for using the backboard when they're shooting shots. Like, look, if I made the goddamn point, fuck you. Like,
Tony, you clearly don't know the unwritten rule about bank shots. They have to be at an angle. You have to take an angled bank shot. If it's anything from like the top, in, it's not like that's not considered because
help me understand why that is, because the backboard's there.
Because you're clearly okay. So it's easier in basketball to get the length down usually than it is your left and right. So you're going to go left and right a lot more if you're shooting full jump shots because this can stay all in the same area, right? But it's just the elbow moving and stuff, like the distance you can get, right? So when you're shooting straight on, it's all about distance. So like if you get the right distance and you're shooting straight on, you're not going to bank it at all because that's a terrible shot. You basically overshot if it was a bank, you would have missed the rim on the other side. Does that make sense? Like, so if you're in an angle, you would have missed the rim. And basically that's why it's not, because the distance is easier to get on a basketball shot clearly than everything else is. If you can just kind of throw it the right distance, that's usually the easiest way to go. The bank shot from straight on, if you throw it fucking 2 feet too far, you can still make it. And that's why they're like, oh, did you call bank? It's like, no, nobody fucking calls bank from 40 feet out and fucking straight on and banks it in. They're trying to like make it and it just goes too far and it just goes in. That's why it gets shit talked on it. So if you wanted it explained, does that make sense?
I still think it's dumb as hell because I think it should matter that I made the fucking shot because that means we got the fucking points. But
dude, it's so much harder. It's so much harder from an angle though because you have to hit it on the right point of the backboard. Like you have to aim it and hit it at the right spot.
Right? Oh yeah, it is. It is harder to do it at an angle than it is to straight on. But like if I get a 3 at the top of the key and I shoot it and it bounces off the backboard and goes in, that's still 3 points.
Tony, I'm giving you fucking double high fives for that, and we're fucking playing some D. But the thing is, in the NBA, it's a little different. they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you hit a fucking bank shot, I'm like, fuck yeah, you meant to do that. But like, like these guys are clearly good enough that they know like they got a bad shot off if it goes bank straight on. They know it's a like dudes are like, oh, you fucking got lucky. It's basically what it is. It's like it's luck. You just got luck.
There's so many guys that like Ben Simmons. If somebody was just like, you know what, I don't care if you're banking your free throws, just make the goddamn shot.
Free throws are different. I would be down with it because it's like I understand how weird that is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's easier to get to the distance on and not the left and right. Well, Shaq didn't have a problem with the distance, but
Shaq was a foot closer to the rim just on his height.
And he was playing with a posy, like those old Worlds of Fun basketballs, the little tiny ones.
Exactly, yeah.
Like that's what it was like to us. Like you just had to like grip. Like you know how hard it is to shoot a fucking posy? Like those are just for dribbling. There's no shooting or dunking. You dunk them and you fucking dribble them. That's it. There's no shooting those things because your hand's too big for it.
You know, and that's the thing is it's like if you take that expectation off of Shaq, we'll use Shaq as the example, I guess. You take that expectation off of Shaq or Shaq. I don't care if you bank it, just make the goddamn shot. Maybe Shaq shoots north of 90%.
Especially in his younger life. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about when he was coming up. Like, he didn't want to be embarrassed, like, just banking. Like, Rick Barry's a fucking joke. He shot the underhand free throw. And, like, Rick Barry was a really good player. And people make jokes. That's all they do, make jokes about him because he shot granny style from the line. And it's like, that's what Shaq he was worried about, I think. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a teenager.
But you know, for me, I get lost in I'd rather make it than miss it. Because for me, that's the priority. Now, maybe that's just because I'm white and 5'7", making it versus missing it is more of a distinction for me than a professional athlete. But
Tony, you just didn't play with any style, which meant you were probably a really good player, right? But you were never going to be elite. That's the thing. So like, you were never going to be elite.
I was all right. I was all right mid-range. I had a decent mid-range game.
These elite guys, though, you see it in the NBA. There's obviously like Giannis, zero style.
Right.
Doesn't really have style, just dominates, right? That's why I like him so much, because there's no like flair or anything to it. Like, but
he doesn't need it.
He doesn't need it. That's how good he is. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there is guys with flair. Michael Jordan, for one, was all about his flair. Like, you have to have 30 pieces of flair, Michael. And Kobe, they love the crazy. That's kind of what basketball is at this point. Like, that's Allen Iverson, my favorite player of all time. A lot about the flair. Okay. I like the peacocks, but at the same time, like, you can respect the guys who don't do it.
But like, for me, it's, and I can understand a little bit of flair, because we look at this as, a very important thing, but ultimately it is a game. It is an entertainment piece. These guys are professional entertainers at the end of the day. So yes, there should be some flair.
I'm not saying there should be. I'm saying like there, why?
Right. But like, there's these guys that are just like, Giannis doesn't need greatness, or I'm sorry, Giannis doesn't need flair.
Pieces of flair. Yeah,
he doesn't need it. Pat Bev needs all the flair he can get.
Pat Bev needs to do the opposite and do what you're talking about and not have flair, because that's the only way that Pat Bev is a good player, is if he fucking pays attention all the time. Like the guys that don't pay attention and are still good are the crazy ones too, because they're, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, Pat Bev needs to pay attention all the time. He's not good enough to be absolutely just fucking around.
And that's my thing. That's exactly my point, because like with Pat Bev, when he's paying attention, he's one of the best defenders in the game. Still.
Absolutely.
But his consistency at paying attention is waning. And it was by the season, and part of me wonders if it's not almost by the game now.
Right.
Because obviously his trade to LA, like, there were jokes about it, but on paper it was like, okay, this makes sense, because it did. But there ain't shit coming from it.
No. He's there. That was not, when we were like, hey, the Lakers signed Pat Beverly, we're like, fuck, that's not like how, like, even we don't even know these fucking guys, and we were like, we're like, that is a fucking terrible, like, just from what we've seen on TV. And to gather enough together, we were like, that is not a fucking good fit. And lo and behold, not a fucking good fit. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, Jesus.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We are going to go ahead and take another ad break. And then we are going to dive into our other topic for this evening. So stick with us. Don't go anywhere.
Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never ran, said no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never. Even when you feel low, you can still go.
Wrap up your Monday with some laughs. Make sure to join Will, Seven, Dan the Dick Warner, and Josie as they dive into the hottest topics of the week across sports, including baseball, basketball, and the NFL. You can catch the episode live Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, or Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. Don't miss the Sports Report Podcast. Don't miss Fight Night. Every Tuesday night, Will Morgan and Josie Haney break down the hottest topics of the week across combat sports, including UFC, boxing, WWE, AEW, and more. Past episodes are available on youtube.com/The Sports Report Podcast, and each episode will air again Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern on West Coast Radio. Don't miss Fight Night. Tune in or tap out. Welcome back to the Sports Report After Dark. Seven and Dan here as we dive into the back end of our show this evening.
I want Tony.
Oh yeah, you guys get snow?
It's just like sleeting sideways. All I can see really is the sleet coming sideways in the streetlights. So
goodness.
I basically live in fucking like Winterfell. Like I live in just a winter hell.
Somebody needs to take away Game of Thrones because,
bro,
you
are winter's coming.
You are clearly wrapped up in a cult.
Seven, you've been
dragon fucking.
You've been around here, and it's even worse up north as we call it, by the wall. We're up north, man. This is like it's about to be. It's about to get crazy, bro. Winter's coming, man. Like, no, it is rough though, bro. Really, you know what I'm talking about. You're from around here. Like, god damn, I don't like the cold that much, man. Like I used to, and I'm all right with it, but like now I'm like, fuck.
And honestly, man, like when we were looking at where we were gonna move to, that was one of the reasons for me why that area is off limits, because that wind is just brutal.
30 miles an hour. I'm not joking. 30 mile an hour gusts right now. I'm out there trying to take a piss in a sleeveless shirt. It's sleeting sideways. And I'm like, what the fuck does this happen? Like, when did this happen? I don't like how it gets so violent so fast. That's how it happens.
You know, and you know, the other thing that confuses me is like you get some of these nicer cities like St. Joe, not a horrible city, but what makes it a shithole atrocious is you have a place that gets ice every year, and the city is built on the side of a river bluff and nothing but fucking hills.
Yeah.
Like
it's a fucking nightmare.
Here's the thing. St. Joe will always be home to me. But whatever drunk redneck planned that town.
It's so good. It was actually just like a bunch of like people from the 20s, wasn't it? Like this is like just dudes from the 20s. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like early 1900s.
It's like all those downtown buildings are basically like 1919, 1920. Like, so
yeah,
just going nuts at it. Like, what idiots. They were like, no, it's never going to get cold around here. Like, what's this stuff called? Ice? What is that? Like, we can build these roads. Just go over.
There won't be ice here for long. This has got to be a rare occurrence.
Right.
You mean winds that come off of the Rockies, fly across Kansas with nothing in their fucking way.
Nothing.
Because that's flatter than Tara Reid's chest. And then crosses that Missouri River already fucking cold. Yeah.
Did you say flatter than Tara Reid? I have to interject here. Tara Reid not flat.
Clearly.
She got pretty good sized breasticles.
I honestly can't
remember. Doesn't
she? Hold on.
Doesn't she? Tara Reid? American Pie.
Tara, hold on. Let's settle this right now, like gentlemen.
Maybe I'm mistaken.
I mean, they're not the smallest, but
see, you should have said flatter than like Mila Jovovich or something like that.
Okay, well, yeah, okay. Well, I mean, either way, it's flatter than It's still flatter than Tara Reid,
Flatter
regardless
than, flatter than Jennifer Connelly.
Right.
Flatter than Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah. Anyway, but that's
flatter than Michael Jackson, bro.
We're looking at some different spots. We're actually, I'm honestly, we're locking in on Memphis, and I'm kind of excited because go to some Grizzly games. I think Memphis is getting a.
I need ya.
So they either have a USFL team or an XFL team. I can't remember. I think it's USFL.
Some of the best live music in the United States.
Yeah, great music scene. Cost of living in that city is nice. So I'm thinking that's where we're locking in on. We're gonna see it in the spring.
I hope it fits you.
It's not your cellmate's butthole in prison, buddy. You don't have to force it.
Hey, gay for the stay, bro. Gay for the stay.
Gay for the stay. I mean, hey.
And you know what? You didn't ever get forced into it. I just chose it. That's me. It was mostly for protection. I'm just kidding.
All right, let's get this over with. No, we just want to know if you have any ramen. just get it over with. Just do what you got to do.
No, for real, dude. Just pay us like in some hot dogs. Not that kind of hot dog. And we're like, all right, whatever, man. Somebody said hot dog. Pay us in a couple of ramens. Tony, you have been to prison somewhere. I knew it. Every guy in there can make the best ramen noodles that has ever been made. You know that, right?
I've heard that. I don't know, man. I learned a lot about ramen when I was in college.
They're like the Gordon Ramsay of felonies. They're just fucking they can just make some shit out of like. But I'm like, what if you had like real ingredients?
There's a guy that I follow on TikTok and on Facebook, and he talks about because he got the rest of his sentence pardoned during COVID, and he got released. And so he's talked about, being on the outside after being a felon and life in prison. Like he'll tell stories about some of the different shit that they would do. And it's just like, are you fucking serious? Like
we can have one of those episodes one night if you want, Tony. I'll let it all go. Because I'll send you a thing. When I come across one of those videos, I'll send you his page because he's absolutely amazing. Don't name any names and you're good. Don't say any names and you're good. That's it. This one guy.
Yep. And that's pretty much all of his stuff. Is like he'll be telling stories. He'll be like, I had this one guy. I saw this one thing. Yeah.
Like, I saw some shit. That's basically all it is. It's like you're like, oh fuck, I'm in here with some fucking animals.
Yeah.
That's basically the only realization that you get out of it is like, fuck.
One of the things that I thought was interesting was he said one of the things he said one time was after he first got in, after he'd gotten sentenced, he was, there was an older guy that was in the prison that was talking because he's like, he's going insane. One of the guys told him was like, make a plan for how you would break out. Make a plan. Because that's going to be what keeps you sane while you're here, because you will have it in the back of your mind that you could leave if you want to.
That's interesting. That's an interesting way. I've never heard that before.
And I was like, that's some deep thought. Like just to think about that concept for a moment.
I get it.
Because a lot of what he talks about in his stuff is changing your mindset.
Yeah.
And how he, when he changed his mindset, he used the resources in prison to grow rather than just, sleeping and working out, and getting in fights and gangbanging shit. That's when he really started to develop as a person and become a better person in prison, and actually the rehabilitation that prison is supposed to be.
It's definitely it pushes education for certain people. Like for me, it did. Like I was like, I just wanted to learn things because there's nothing. What else can you get out of it? You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do? Like it's so monotonous, and like every day is exactly the same over and over and over and over again. And that's how you pass time, is you just do the same things every day, right? But in the middle of that, you have a lot of free time. And so you're just sitting there going like, what should I do? Like read books, Like that's basically what he's talking about. I think is
like he got degrees. He picked up trade knowledge that he was able to benefit from. Because the jobs that you can get, that you can earn.
My in prison book count compared to my out of prison book count is very, very high. Let's just say that. Like I haven't read that many books out, but in there, nothing else to do. Everybody usually understands it. They're like, yeah, like if I was just bored in a cage, what am I going to do? Like there's books around, like I just read a book, right? That's the option.
Number of lions, the number of lions that play with big rubber balls in a zoo is much higher than the number of lions that are not in a zoo that play with big rubber balls.
Big rubber balls. It's like 5,100 to 0.
I mean, there's going to be some different numbers. Yeah.
They get to not be in a cage. So they're like, this is fucking awesome. Like, this is fucking sweet. Like, I don't even need anything else. Like, I'll just sit here and like chill in the sun, bro. I'm just going to chill in the sun and sleep. And like, I don't need to be anywhere else.
But here's the truth. But that's the thing is there's some guys that they get to prison and that's exactly what they do.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
They eat, sleep, work out. And that's pretty much it.
I was next to a guy, bro. One of my best friends, 6'1", skinny dude, black dude, slept. I'm not joking you. probably 2 hours out of the day. He would literally get up for like an hour and eat. And then just like literally just go like, and he was able to do that because he was going into hibernation mode. Like you said that you go into like some certain kind of mode. He went into hibernation mode straight, just with like cover, like skinny, not like actually hibernating, but he's somehow figured out how to like sleep 22 hours a day, which to me seems ridiculous. There's no way I don't think I could do that unless you just like stay in like a constant, I don't know if he was getting meds or something like that, but yeah, just went into a shell mode. Like, that quick. I'm sure he wasn't doing that on the outside, right? He was just like staying up for normal hours. I mean, like that shows you how quick you can just.
If you're not in jail and you're sleeping 22 hours a day, it's really hard to go to jail when you're sleeping 22 hours a day.
You're an infant
because you're probably a baby or a 90-year-old in a nursing home.
Yeah, just basically just like. If you nod off in your wheelchair for 16 hours a day, you are not robbing a bank. There's none of that is going down. Like you don't even
okay. Technically there's a chance, but the numbers are very, very like more than the Braves winning the World Series last year. Like it's more of a long shot than plus 1,100.
The perfect crime. The perfect crime is just like a 90-year-old in like a nursing home, just strong arm robbing the entire staff and taking their cars, like, and all of them drive away in different cars, like all the old people, like they would never see it coming. And all those people would have all day for like 6 months just to plan it all day, and all the employees don't give a fuck.
Could you imagine like if an old man walks into a bank, looks like he's like 90 years old, robs the bank? Everybody's like, somebody in a costume that looked a lot like an old man. There was a lot of costuming there. Nobody would believe it was an actually 90-year-old man.
That's what I'm saying. Like he must have had a disguise. It's like, no, motherfucker, he was actually old. Like, and you know what the best part of that, and the reason it is an advantage is because that security guard at the front door literally did not. And when I say did not look, I mean literally he did not even register the 91-year-old man walking in because that's not his job. He was like, no. Like, no. Just immediately his mind was like, no.
There was definitely some profiling in his assessment of that person before he went back to looking at his phone.
Absolutely. If you rewind that tape, the dude has a bazooka that's just down his left leg, and you can see it clearly in the tape. And this security guard, nothing. Just he actually waves and nods while he's got his head down on his phone. He has a bazooka in clear view. Like dude, it would be so awesome. Dude, bro, if I ever turn 91, you know every robbery that comes over the news. I'm
seriously like if you live that long, I'm just gonna be like, all right, where's he? Oh, Dan went to the bank today.
like throwing out some like crazy medical innovation. I'm not living to be 55. So this shit better happen like pretty quick. Because
there's scientists that say the first person to live 200 years has already been born.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. Yeah, it's a weird thing to think
die
about.
From catastrophic climate change has already been born. So
yeah.
Could be the 200-year-old person. We could have more time than we think. What do you think? No, we have like 25 years. 25, I'm saying we start seeing some major changes. In our lifetime, or not mine, but yours, there will be some major, like, you'll start to see, like, your kids are definitely going to see some real shit, some weird shit. It's going to get weird.
So, I while we're on that subject, before we go to our final thing here, I was going, scrolling through Facebook today on my lunch, just trying to disconnect for a minute because selling insurance is mind-numbingly boring. You'd think it, because insurance just sounds so exciting. You wouldn't think it would be fucking boring.
I mean, it's a dream job for some people. It's a dream job for some people.
You know what? There's somebody who has working as an insurance agent on that high pedestal. I'm more like Kyrie, except I actually do go to work.
I'm just collecting a paycheck, and I actually show up to work. I get my vaccinations. I'm not a fucking idiot.
I like my coworkers. I like my boss, but I'm selling insurance because I'm good at it, not because I like it.
It's not your philosophical interest. You're not deeply ingrained in the art of insurance, really.
No.
Guys, I know that for a fact. He's not.
I know way too much about insurance, but it doesn't mean that I like it. I do. Unlike
it's like Nazis for me.
My job.
It's like Nazis for me. Like, I know way too much about it. I'm not like into it, but like I know way too much about it.
That's slightly different, Dan.
It is, well, a little bit, because I don't do Nazi for a living. Does anybody do Nazi for a living anymore?
I mean, I'm sure. I mean,
South America.
Republicans still exist, right?
Republic, count it.
No, I'm kidding.
Count it. No, you're not.
Politicians. Politicians 60 and up still exist, right? Yeah,
yes.
That's a more appropriate.
Are they still as white as ever? Yep.
Yes. Yep. And Herschel Walker.
And Herschel like thought he could get in, and they didn't see that he was black. He was like, no, I don't think they know. I don't know.
What's that Chappelle sketch, Clayton Bigsby?
Yes, exactly.
Herschel Walker is a real life Clayton Bigsby.
Guys, do they think I'm white, or is it just because I'm Herschel Walker? It's like, just because you're Herschel Walker. He's like, no, I think they think I'm white. It's like, no, they don't. They just see you have a lot of money and you're famous. No. Unfortunately, that's the fucked up part about it. Don't do chicks like Herschel Walker did.
No.
I mean, you know what? I had to respect him. I can't even say this out loud. I had to respect him. Hey, at least he was paying for him, dude. At least he was paying for him, for real.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's consensual.
I would have never paid $300 for that.
No.
I had rent to pay, motherfucker. We can.
I don't think there's a level of rich where I would be willing to just pay for sex. Like, there's so many other things to do. Like, at some point,
plus, you shouldn't have to if you have $1,000.
Like, that's the thing.
What are you talking about?
You don't have to.
No, doesn't have to be a thing.
But in truth, think about this. If a person is with you for your money, but you're not giving them actual money, you're just spending money on them, dinners, clothing, stuff like that. That's prostitution with extra steps.
100%. If you either call it prostitution or call it male-female relationships, those are the two different. Like,
because, and that's the thing. Like, if like it literally is. It's like it's just prostitution with extra steps.
If consent is involved, then that should be like the bottom thing, right? If both parties are consenting to what's going on and they clearly are, like, that's okay to them and they're happy with it, why is it a fucking problem? That's my question.
I mean, and that's the thing is we always want to respect everybody's safety and right to consent, of course.
Talking to you, Ada Nicole Smith.
But
Tony, are you getting a weird radio thing in your headphones?
No, it's my dog.
I'm getting a like a weird, sounds like a frequency reverb. It's kind of cool.
Wow.
But I'm getting your voice and mine. It's kind of weird.
That's weird.
It might be my headphones or something. I don't really know.
Do you have a monitor? Do you have a software that you use for like EQing and stuff?
I use StreamYard.
Oh, you just okay.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to edit a video or something, obviously, yeah. But
do you have does your microphone go through a soundboard?
It goes in. No, it's USB in my computer.
Oh, okay.
I could get I could soundboard it.
Well, no, because I was thinking like maybe you had like a monitoring or something, and that's why you're getting it.
No, I'm directly in there.
Okay.
I don't know. The fray on it might be the issue. It's like blinking now, which is weird. But
so as we wrap up tonight, last week, there was a shooting. The University of Virginia football team. A former player got onto the bus and opened fire, and it breaks my heart to see these things happen.
Where was this?
University of Virginia.
When? I haven't.
Hold on. Looks like the suspect was arrested. He was a former player. 3 people dead and 2 others wounded. Facing 8 total charges from the incident. Former player. Looks like he opened fire by pointing a gun at one of the victims, Devin Chandler, and shooting him while he was sleeping. Chandler was among those who shootings were targeted, not random, the witnesses reportedly said. So this was clearly somebody who had a vendetta. Reports that he had failed background checks for guns, so clearly had them illegally, which any mass shooting is typically what the case is, so that's not a surprise.
Yeah, typically, I don't know. You have to look at numbers on that, but probably more
majority. No, it's an overwhelming majority of individuals with that are guilty of shootings,
right?
Of mass shootings, had those guns illegally,
restricted. Yeah.
Well,
see, that's the thing. But dude, how hard? I mean, seriously, how hard is it to get a weapon at this point in the United States? It's pretty fucking easy, is what it is. Like, if you want to do it not legally, it would be easy. Like, I'm just thinking about, like, I honestly don't do that because I don't have to, but like, why would you? Like, that's pretty easy, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the situation. Is the black market resources for acquiring these kind of things are just readily available.
Only if I go into Missouri, Tony, do I have to not buy firearms. That's weird. Think about that. So I can't buy a firearm in Missouri, but I can just go to Nebraska or Kansas to do so, which is 15 miles. Like, what's the difference? Like, that's the ridiculous part. Like, that's an actual part of that gun law. I mean, I'm not saying I shouldn't have firearms, but I'm saying, like, there's people who are restricted firearms who can just go to the next state and get them. So if they're bigger crimes, obviously it's federal. So that's going to be like, you're going to be on the watch list no matter what. They'll have it up there. You won't be able to get a weapon. But like, if you just commit a state felony, you can just go to the next state, dude. How weird is that?
And that's the thing is I'm never going to be one that says we should do anything that negatively impacts responsible gun owners. However, if somebody is convicted of a crime in Missouri where their gun rights were taken away in that state, other states should be able to know about that and back it up.
I'm super on the side of Jim Jeffries for real. Have you seen Jim Jeffries' thing about this, where he's talking about like,
No.
he basically, Jim Jeffries is super anti-gun. He's from Australia, where they outlawed guns after like 2013 or something like that.
Right.
And he's like, hey, mass shootings went down. He's like, imagine that. It's mass shootings went down. Imagine that. But yeah, I can't be on his side. Like, I like, he says the only argument that Americans have to keep their guns is, fuck you, I like guns. That's all it is. I like guns. I like how they operate. I like holding them and shooting them. It's cool. I think it's like probably a powerful thing. I don't know. I haven't got that deep into my psyche, but like but for real, like they're just cool. I like them. I like to look at them and all that shit. There's no reason to actually have them, like for real. And
I will say I understand the arguments around wanting to be able to protect yourself, which, smaller arms.
Who is attacking you in your home?
But let me explain. Smaller arms for home defense, because yes, it's not going to happen to everybody, but it could happen. And I can understand that to a point, wanting to be safe and being able to go hunting.
Hunting is the main, yeah.
Right. And hunting is, and people being able to hunt is an important thing. It's not just about, being able to connect with more primitive pieces of yourself. And also it helps with management of animal populations. Like there are a lot of ecological benefits to hunting existing. And so I don't want to infringe upon people's ability to do that as long as they can be responsible. But I also understand that there is a huge mental health component to gun ownership that nobody wants to talk about. And it is the most important piece, because I think the solution is there. But too many people are like, nah, man, don't take my gun, don't take my gun. To look at the truth that there is a mental health component of this. And while everybody has fundamentally the right to have a firearm, in the modern day, we have a responsibility to make sure we are doing it the right way. Everybody has the right to freedom of speech, but you also have consequences for saying things that you shouldn't say. If you make a terroristic threat, yes, you have the freedom of speech to be able to say it, but guess what? You're still going to go to jail for making a terroristic threat.
Right.
If I scream the N-word in a room full of black people, I'm going to get a mud hole stomped in my ass.
And you should.
And
if
right,
not,
it depending on context, if I'm just being a dick about it, obviously, yes, I should get I should get my ass kicked for it.
We know what you meant. In a not good way.
Right. So the truth of the matter is there are things that we all have the right to, but there are also consequences for abusing those rights. And there are certain things that we have to consider within how to responsibly navigate those rights. I have the freedom of religion, but I do not have the freedom to force you to believe my religion.
Right.
I cannot legislate my religion into your life.
I have a question for you on that. Do you think there would be any less of like dudes just lashing out and killing a bunch of people if there wasn't guns? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that, I think that those guys would, and women, or I guess not really masculine.
Women are far less common, but yes.
Yeah. But do you think they would lash out in that way? Another way they would, dude, you can make fucking explosives from like your household items. Like somebody's got to figure out how to fucking kill people in mass amounts, right?
There's so much information on the internet that you can find other ways to cause damage. And that's the other piece with it. But I think that if we as a country were willing to sit down and add a mental health component to being able to purchase guns,
kind of on the same line, yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going with the stream examples, obviously, but like,
right. Yeah. But like, kind of like you have to go get your driver's license renewed every few years. They make sure you can still see. You don't have to take the big road test again unless you let everything expire. As long as you upkeep it, check in, all of that. Typically,
I see what you're saying.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
That's interesting, Tony, because like you're saying, basically, like them be in contact maybe with a therapist, basically have a clean bill of mental health before they're given a colonoscopy, right? In the gun sense of the word. Just until they're given a gun, they should have a clean bill of mental health. That then allows there should be more steps to it.
And yes, and I acknowledge that there's going to be people that are going to try and skirt those rules. You know what? That's completely understandable. There are always going to be people that do that, no matter what we do. It's the same reason that we can ban guns, but they're still going to exist,
especially for a while after
the war on drugs did. Drugs won the war on drugs.
Yes.
But I think there are responsible choices that we can make that are not an infringement on anybody's mental health. And outside of somebody that is licensed being able to say, yeah, this person is sane enough to own weapons of the firearm variety, is a reasonable request once every 5 years. And if somebody gets into a domestic violence situation, a road rage situation, anything where violence could be considered, guess what? You got to go back. You got to talk to somebody.
Yes.
Before you can carry on, you've got to prove that you're all right, that you've worked on the issues. Doesn't mean you can never own one again. It just means that you're going to take the time to take care of yourself before putting yourself in that position again. Because impulsivity, when you have a firearm, can kill you. Or somebody else.
Just the power of that. And like people take it too much to like, oh, it's a gun, it's just metal. And no, bro, it's killing power. It's a person with killing power. Like that is it's not about the gun. It's about making sure the person that is using the gun is properly prepared to do so. Before my stepdad took me hunting for the first time when I was 14. I had to go through Missouri's hunter safety course. Did you take Missouri's hunter safety course? No.
Okay. Had to take it over a weekend. And most of this was in regards to gun safety, and also a few things that everybody needs to know, that are important to understand is in regards to Missouri's hunting laws. But there was you had to spend basically all weekend. If you were going to get it through in a weekend, you had to spend all weekend, both days, going through a bunch of these different things that talk about different things, and you have to pass a test at the end. One of the things that they teach you, it's one of the things that they went through. What is the most important rule of gun safety? It's always keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. Which clear, obvious, right?
I was going to say,
when you think about.
My hunter safety course was my dad. Just not wanting me to shoot myself in the face. That was my hunter safety course. He's like,
right,
just shoot yourself in the face. I was like, fucking you idiot. Like keep the point that comes out away from you. Like don't fucking point it at anybody else either.
Right. And, but it was a dedicated thing that made sure we had an understanding of the impact of our actions if we didn't follow safety rules. Okay. There's nothing unreasonable about making sure people do go through that kind of training in order to be able to carry a firearm.
Oh, for sure. Especially guys who don't have redneck dads.
Exactly.
Guys who don't have redneck dads, that's a lot of people.
I wouldn't want, I wouldn't want somebody that's never been around a firearm to be able to just walk in, and grab it because they can, and just start walking around with it. They could potentially hurt somebody.
With it loaded.
You're not allowed to just get into a car and drive whenever you decide you want to start driving. You have to be of age. You have to go through and pass a written test. You have to go through and pass a driver's test. And Tony, we don't question that because it's responsible. It's safe. It makes sure that the road is safe for everybody.
You're driving
and
a
for
weapon.
The person, you are driving a big ass weapon. So why is there such a problem with placing the same importance in gun safety and making sure that these things are in the right hands than not? Why is there more emphasis in driving safety than there is in gun safety in most states?
There shouldn't be, because obviously that's not it's people choosing to use the gun is so much more than obviously you're not you are driving a weapon, but you're not like ever. Most people aren't like choosing to use. They want to actually avoid choosing that weapon. But people who are like, not capable of holding a firearm are choosing to use the weapon. And that's the weirdest thing about it is like
most responsible gun owners, they could be carrying a gun and it's the last thing they want to touch. They will beat your ass with their hands before they will get their gun out because they know what's on the other side.
Yeah.
But
just fucking.
All right. So let's go ahead and wrap up tonight. As I do want to say to the victims and their families over at University of Virginia that have been dealing with all of this.
That's crazy.
You guys are in our thoughts.
Dude, hopefully that wasn't a CTE thing. Hopefully it wasn't a CTE thing.
Hopefully it wasn't a CTE thing. I know that it was a targeted attack. The young man that committed the attack is behind bars facing charges. We also saw a scenario yesterday. I saw this article. Somebody drove into a group of police officers that were in academy training, police officers in training in LA. They were out on a run, and somebody drove into a crowd of them. 6 are critically injured. 16 more are injured, like just minor injuries. Like
hopefully they fell asleep at the wheel at that point. Like
no, it was intentional.
It was like intentional. Okay.
Yeah, it was intentional. It was a younger person. It was intentional. They knew what they were doing.
Them goddamn liberals, Tony. Some goddamn liberals.
People need to just calm the fuck down. Like
right. Chill. RELAX.
I mean, I wish it could be as simple as take away everybody's weapons all over the world, give everybody weed, we'll all be fine. That's not how it works. That's why mental health is so important. That's why everything, our successes as a race and as a society depends on mental health.
That's all there is. Every one of these challenges and situations that we face
and everything
is literally based all in that. There's no other basis for it. Whatever anybody does, it's all about that. It's all about human mental health. Weirdest shit ever. We don't have any idea what we're doing. We need to figure out what we're doing. Or at least we're never going to figure it out.
We need to do better.
Maybe just get a better grip on it.
We need to
do
better.
Like a wild bull that we're chasing.
Yeah. We need to do better.
A stag.
For those of you that are watching live, Wade, God damn it. No. For those of you watching live, including Haystacks, I saw you in the comments there, buddy. For those of you that are catching us after on Spotify, West Coast Radio, thank you for your support. You will catch Dan and I Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern, Sports Report right here on this channel. Join us. We would love to dive more into sports topics with you.
With Will and the President Josie.
El Presidentris. Remember, we have officially given Josie the title. It's El Presidentris.
It would be Madam President.
Well, yes, but that would make sense. So we're going with El Presidentris.
Madame Presidente.
Because that's 100% legit Spanish. El Presidentris.
It is. El Presidentris. It's got a X at the end. El Presidentique. That's it. We're in it.
No.
Gotta do it.
Gotta do it.
I don't know, man.
Thank you all for supporting us. We appreciate you. We will see you next week right here on Sports Report After Dark. Have a good night.
I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. But even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change.